Hey guys, I'm back here again. We finally had some time to go up the range, even though it's still freezing up here, so I'm still freezing my nuts off up here. It's about 29, 30 degrees right now. We did have a lot of snowfall last week, and I wanted to come up here again this week because I was up here last Tuesday, and I want to come up again this Tuesday up here and to try some of my other guns up here to re-zero them because my AK need to be re-zeroed, my M16 A4 need to be re-zeroed, and I want to check out the what's it called, Mosin M39. I've never shot this one up here yet. This time at this range yet, so I want to try this one out. And then, this one's basically shooting super high. It's shooting about 8, 9 inches high at a distance of about 50 yards with 200 grain bullets from Wolf. So I'll start with the Mosin first. The ammunition we're using up here with a good old Mosin. I'll get it out of the packaging here for you. Yeah, there we go. There's the bullet. It's a Wolf 200 grain extra match bullet. Here's the packaging right here. I'll show you what the packaging looks like. There's the packaging. It's the camo box. This is the Wolf WPA Military Classic. They call it extra match extra 200 grain full metal jacket bow tail bullet. It's produced in Russia, and it's a brass case copper jacket, and it's Berdan prime, so it should last a long time. And it's made in Russia at the LVE factory in Norsburg. I can't pronounce it, so I'm sorry about botching the name, but it's made in Russia, and it's good ammunition for a gun such as this, because the M39 is basically designed for the I think it's a D166 bullet, and this stuff is pretty close to that spec right there for it. It's a 200 grain match bullet, and we got 3 rounds in the gun right now, so we'll go ahead and fire that stuff off using the Wolf WPA Military Classic 200 grain extra match ammunition. Here's the M39 Mosin. This is the, let me see here, what year is this thing? This is 1944 one, and this is the, wartime Mosin. This is not the like post-war or transitional period or anything else like that. This is the wartime VKT 1944 spec Mosin M39 rifle. So we'll go ahead and blast off 3 rounds. This one does have a long trigger on this one right here. You can tune them up if you want to, but the thing is, this one has a long trigger on here, so it's a bit longer than my other because typically you can fine tune each one for your specific needs. This one I never modified yet, because that's what I do is keep it strong for right now. So I'll go ahead and blast them off. Okay, shooting left-handed as well too, guys. So I'm a lefty. Good old Mosin. Maybe you get a good shot here from the side. Right about, that looks good right there. Okay. And ran great, no problem. Let's check the brass on here, see if any kind of malfunction with the brass on there. Because typically, some of these chambers on the Mosins, they might be a little bit rough out there. And my one Mosin, I had to have the chamber polished up a bit on the end where it comes into the rear of the cartridge on it. It had to be polished up a bit. Let's check this one out here. It looks good. I don't see any kind of scuff marks anywhere. It looks absolutely perfect. So, gun's shooting great. And that was the good old Wolf Military Classic. That's the 200 grain match ammunition. And there's your good old, let me see, get a better shot here for you. How about that? It's your 200 grain match extra bullet from Russia, LVE factory. And this is I think it's a 2012 production right here. So this, I basically had this stuff sitting around for probably about 8 years. Because I rarely use it, because this stuff, unfortunately, it's like 25, 30 bucks a box out there. And typically, if you're going to be shooting your Mosin, especially your finished Mosin out there, you want good ammunition. You don't want to put corrosive ammunition through it. And I recommend getting some of this stuff as opposed to shooting the machine gun, military surplus stuff out there that's got 148 grain stuff. So put that back down here. And gun ran great. Good old Mosin M39, 1944, made by VKT in Finland over there. This is used by the Finnish troops against the Russians in the Winter War and the continuation war between Finland and Russia right here for that. So this is a definite good rifle. You want to get some kind of a real shoulder thumper out there that's basically designed to kill anybody from like 100 to like almost like 1,000 yards out there for the. That's quite stretching it. But it's mainly meant for close engagement, probably between 100 by 300 yards in realistic terms right there for that. So that's a good old Finnish M39 right there for that from Russia, or I should say the receivers from Russia. The rest of the gun is totally reworked by Finland over there. So the only thing they kept from Russia was the receiver, the bolt group, and stuff like that, and also the actual magazine, but they did modify the magazine, so the magazine's modified slightly, the trigger's modified, and also the receiver is strictly unmodified right there as well too. So put that down here, enough of the BS. Next one we got up here, good old AK, with the AK ready to go up here. I got the Gen 2 puff gun magazine here from Russia. This is the Gen 2 puff gun AK magazine. This one has the metal front and rear feed lips, so it's metal in the back here, it's metal in the front. So we'll go ahead and try this magazine out. Locks in good. Doesn't have any wobble at all. There's no side wobble. There's no front wobble. So the magazine's nice and tight when it locks into the receiver's mag well right there for that. And the ammunition we got here today. Put that down real quick. We got the Wolf Military Classic. This stuff has like the same color schematic as this one right here, so it's like the same product line but this stuff is Military Classic. This is the cheap and dirty stuff right here. This is the bi-metal jacket, 124 grain bullet, steel case, and it's Burdan Prime non-corrosive, so this stuff should function perfectly fine in the AK. I did have to open up the actual gas, the K&S precision gas adjustment on the front of the piston by 2 clicks on it, because right now it's about like 30 degrees outside. So if your gun's operating okay in hot weather versus cold weather, if you go from hot to cold, your gun might need to be adjusted a bit for the function in cold weather. So you might have to open up the K&S piston on the front, maybe 1 or 2 more clicks to allow it to function correctly, to dial it in for your specific ammunition and also the cold weather. So right now I did have to close the thing about 2 clicks on it for that. So that's why I'm making note of that. If you're going from hot to cold temperature out there, from like summer to winter, so you're going to have to adjust your K&S precision piston in order for it to adjust, to accommodate the colder weather out there for that. Let's put that down. Enough of the BS. Okay. Get the optics off. We got the Raycor's optic on Raycor's A or Raycor's, whatever you want to call it. This is the where's it at here? Yeah, it's a Russian optic on here, so we'll go ahead and run the gun through it here. I think I got about 7 rounds in the gun right here, so we'll do about 7 or 8 rounds here. So I think I blew through all my other ammunition up here for that. So go ahead and do that. Make a good stance right about there. Looks good. Gun ran fine. The thing you might notice about the trigger in there, it's very, very easy to do a double tap on these ALG triggers. This one is a lightning bolt one. This is the ALG ACT-E enhanced one. It has an extremely light pull on it, so anytime you get one of these triggers out there, be mindful when you're shooting out there for that, because you can do a double tap real quick on there because of the actual light. That's only about 2.5–3 pounds of trigger pull on there. with the trigger right here. So just be mindful when you're shooting at the range. This is more of like a 3-gun type of trigger out there. If you want something has more of a pull, get the regular ALG ACT trigger right there for that, the Advanced Combat, or the I should say AKT. Sorry about that. I keep on thinking about the M16 one right there. So get the ALG AKT trigger, not the ACT. The ACT is the Advanced Combat trigger for the M16 platform. This one is the AKT. I have the AKTE in this one right here. That's why you can just basically do a double tap, like super easy for that. Okay, next one we got here today, okay, is the M16 A4 Clone. This one has the ALG ACT, the Advanced Combat trigger. I was getting them confused. Sorry about that, guys, if I screwed up. This one has the ACT combat trigger. This one right here. And we got the ammunition we got here today. There's the ammunition. This is the Federal American Eagle blue box. This is the what do you call the they call it military grade, 55 grain stuff, and this is their blue box. I got this earlier this year, so it's 2020 production when it was actually cheap. I think I got this for like $5.99 back in I think March or April or something. Actually, the price was quite low. So the magazine we got here, good old 40 round Magpul Magazine. These are probably about the best, best bang for your buck if you want a high capacity magazine without, spending the money for a drum. These things are only like, 20, 25 bucks right here. Typically, you can probably buy them for probably about, I don't know, about 18, 19 bucks and you get a good deal on them. But overall, they're great for a 40 round magazine. And I think I got about 7 or 8 rounds in the magazine right here. So we'll run through the gun here. And we'll do a function test of this gun right here for you guys. Looks good. Always get a good tap and a bomb these things. You never know when they might not want to stick right, stuff like that. So always give them a good tap. Make sure it's locked in and it's good to go like that. So we'll go ahead and run here for it. Let me get you a good side stand. Okay, looks good. Yep, ran 10 rounds right through it, no problem. Ran great. Magazine, good old Magpul Magazine. 40 round, Gen 3 PMag. Locks in perfectly fine into the gun. If you want to get a cheap, reliable, high capacity magazine, Magpul is the way to go. Put that down. The ammunition was the good old Federal blue box. I'll show you what the bolt looks like here. These ones are a bit tarnished right here. Okay. Here's your good old American Eagle 55 grain stuff right there. Typically, this cheaper economy line stuff, it's usually we're gonna call discolored on there for that. So other than that, it ran fine. Put that back down. So we ran the 3 guns up here, the good old M39 finished Mosin rifle. And we used the Wolf military, it's called military classic extra match stuff right here. That's the 200 grain extra match boat tail full metal jacket stuff. We also used the good old AK with the extremely light trigger out there. Good old Sam 7 again as well too. We had the Gen 2 puff gun from Russia magazine right here. Locks in nice and tight in the mag well. It has no wiggle at all. Perfect for that. And the ammunition we have for that one was a good old Wolf military classic 124 grain stuff. And as I was saying before, you will have to adjust your K&S precision gas piston if you're going from a hot climate to a cold climate, because when you go to the cold, clone, your gun will not want to cycle reliably, so you have to dial in your KNS precision gas, because you probably have to close it, maybe 2 to 4 settings closed on it to to restrict the gas coming back on the bolt right there for there. I should say the bolt carrier more precisely. So you're going to have to close the piston a little bit more than what you had to in the summer. So good stuff. Last gun we had here, good old M16 A4 Clone, using the Gen 3 40 round P-Mag. Magazine ran perfectly fine, fed fine. And that's the good old Clone, M16 A4 Semi-Automatic Clone. This one has the area precision lower attached to the M16 A4 upper right there for that. And I got a PSA Palmetto State Armory bolt carrier group in this one right here for that, for reference points. So it has the enhanced bolt carrier group, you want to call it that. It has a DLC coating on there. And this one has the advanced combat trigger from ALG, and this one as well too. So this one ran great. And the ammunition we used for that one, as I said before, is the American Eagle Federal stuff right here, blue box, 65 grain stuff. This one ran perfectly fine here today, no problem, no hiccups, and I was totally satisfied with the performance once I got the optics dialed in, and it ran absolutely great. So that's everything today, guys. If anybody has any comments, questions, whatnot, feel free to drop me a message here, and I'll try to get back as soon as possible. I'll see you.